Hey everybody, this is Josh Runquist here for the Heavy Debriefings YouTube channel, back for another episode of Out Today and What I Missed, this time for October 3rd, 2025. We have another 20 albums that I'll be doing this week, 6 that come out today, 14 that I missed along the way. No more dilly-dally, let's just get into it. First up, we have Arson Charge with A Dying Light. The debut album from this Detroit band is quite the eclectic taste of an album. It hits so many territories that covers the ground of thrash, punk, hardcore, and more, to create an earnest and authentic look at the pain that we cause ourselves, both mentally and physically, and honestly, around us. The production is clear and polished, but still sounds human, which is a great thing to hear. And the songwriting may throw some for a loop, but for myself, this feels so natural and inspired. If you enjoy early day Mastodon, but want to mix it in with some Sepultura, Black Flag, and also some vocal variety kind of like of the Jesse Leach era of Killswitch Engage, check out what Arson Charge is all about. Next up, we have Blood Red Hourglass with We Should Be Buried Like This. The fifth album from this Finnish outfit is a welcome change of pace in 2025. Having been a longtime fan of the band, I love the progression the band has gone through over the years, and their latest effort is a great culmination of the last 13 years of work that they've been pulling off, mixing that blend of Melodeath, metalcore, and modern metal in a way that feels so natural coming from a band like this, all while making everything so catchy and fun to listen to. Granted, it's a dark album, but that adds to the mystique of the band and continues to show off time and time again what these guys are capable of. The production is so slick and polished, and it makes everything sound impeccable for the songwriting, and I truly hope the band continues to find their footing with a bigger audience, as they truly deserve all the love they've been getting lately. If you enjoy the likes of middle era In Flames, Children of Bodom, Omnium Gatherum, and Orbit Culture, you need Blood Red Hourglass. Next up, we have Dissona with Receptor. The latest release from the Chicago prog band is easily some of the band's best, and that is a great thing to witness. The band takes what they do best with progressive metal, and they add so many layers of electronic, industrial, symphonic, and so much more to create a sound that they have truly made their own. The production is off the charts and really makes the songs shine. The songs themselves hit all over the place, from absolutely crushing to some of the catchiest moments that you'll hear in any kind of prog in 2025, yet none of it feels out of place. I can hear as many bands as the likes of Leprous and Vola as I do bands like Mutiny Within, as I do Symphony X or Persephone. It's a dark whirlwind of a prog album that I couldn't recommend more, and if you need that for the end of 2025, check out Dissona. Next up is Hood and Menace with Lachrymose Monuments of Obscuration, and I really hope I got that right. The seventh album from this long-running death doom band hits a level that feels like a loving tribute to the past, but feels entirely their own in a way that has won me over more than any other album they've done to date. This is exactly how I love my death doom, and it focuses on that classic sound filled with dread and terror, but sounds incredible and gets stuck in your head for days. The album sounds like it was recorded in 1992, and I mean that in a very positive way, yet it feels just as darkly alluring in 2025. You'll hear as much of the Peaceful 3 as you do Electric Wizard, and do I hear some King Diamond riffs going on here as well? Why, yes, I do. This album has it all for that classic death doom sound, and in a world full of dread like we are in 2025, I wouldn't want it any other way. Now we have Michael Schenker Group with Don't Sell Your Soul. The 13th album from MSG is an album that I didn't realize I needed right now, but I'm so thankful it is here for all of us to enjoy. While never straying too far from the path of his previous work, the latest album sounds like a great retrospective of what Michael Schenker has done in the past, but presents a new light to it in 2025. Some songs get quite heavy and have a new wave of British heavy metal feel, others will of course have nods to Scorpions, and others showcase everything else that he's capable of in displaying his very unique style. The production feels vintage, and it's what the music calls for. Also, it is fantastic to hear Robin McAuley make a guest appearance on the album, even if he's not doing all the songs on here. Just hearing those two together again is always a treat. If you want that throwback sound done in 2025 in a way that'll help you escape the modern world, even if just for a little while, Michael Schenker has done it again, and we really, truly needed it. And finally, for brand new albums out today, we have Orbit Culture with Death Above Life. The fifth album from the Swedish band, and second since they broke into the mainstream with 2023's Descent. Orbit Culture has landed on Century Media, and they're taking the world by storm. The music continues to go into the world of some of the most brutal riffs ever laid to record in this style, mixed in with the polar opposite, making it catchy and poppy. And that makes the music feel very user-friendly to a more mainstream crowd, while never losing the integrity of what the band began as in the process. The songs are grand and reward you with something new every time that you give them a spin, and the production couldn't feel more polished if they tried. If you want a band that knows how to channel Gojira, Fear Factory, Metallica, and Scar Symmetry into the perfect earworm of an album, Orbit Culture has done that for you with Death Above Life. They are about to be the new face of metal, and this album may have cemented their legacy. Don't believe me? Just check it out for yourself. And now for everything that I missed along the way, starting with Adon Sky with the Universal Realm. The debut album from this French duo, who both also play in the band King Crown, have created such a fantastic display of power metal for the world to see. This has every trope of the genre that you want, from the grandiose songwriting to the blazing fast speeds, to the production hitting you like a ton of bricks. It's the kind of power metal that reminds you why you enjoy this genre to begin with, and leaves you with a smile on your face from beginning to end. While there's no reinventing the wheel, there's zero need for that in this band. This is straight up power metal to the nth degree. Why would you want it any other way? If you enjoy the likes of Quillian, Skull Revenge, Reinforcer, and The Storyteller, this is made for you. Now we have a brand new discovery to me. The answer lies in the Black Void with Transcendental. The third album from this duo from Hungary and the Netherlands is the perfect atmospheric doom metal album for this time of year. It has the darkness that you'd expect from the genre, mixed in with this cosmic feeling of leaving this mortal coil behind and exploring the universe. Of course, this was done with a heartbreaking and tear-jerking sound that makes it sound so authentic, but still hits so hard. The production can get a little raw, but if anything, it adds to the nuance of the music. The songwriting at hand feels glorious and devastating at the same time. It gives you hope and leaves you feeling hopeless. It feels like a paradox, but once you hear the music, everything will make sense. Calling themselves Transcendental Metal makes so much sense, not just because of the album title, but it's because the album feels like it is transcendence, and in 2025, that is something we could all benefit from. If you have been waiting for a band to mix Trees of Eternity, Funeral, and Draconian into something more than just darkness, you need to see what this band has in store for you. Now we have Atone with Rebirth in Despair. The debut album from this Portuguese outfit has the potential to be the funeral doom album of 2025, and releasing the album just as it turns fall, what perfect timing. This is an album dripping in doom, regret, despair, and heartache. The album will occasionally have something more than just a dirge that they provide, but it's a quick breather before they pull you back into the grave. The production is perfect for this style, and the songwriting is endlessly depressing, but that's exactly why you listen to Funeral Doom in the first place. For anyone looking for something in the vein of Mournful Congregation, Funeral, and Evoken, you need Atone, and I do mean right now. Next up is an album title and band that I really hope I get the names right of. Brothog with Vid Vice Ende. The fourth album from this Norwegian band is an excellent display of how to make extreme metal in 2025, and it feels so inspired and grandiose. It hits so many different territories without ever feeling like a giant hodgepodge, and it only becomes more rewarding the more you listen to it. The production is exactly what is called for, feeling just raw enough, but just clean enough as well. And the songwriting is just jaw-dropping in its display of musicianship and style. This is also the band's first album to be written entirely in Norwegian, so I will be of no help with the lyrical content, but wow, do I love the vocal melodies on this one. If you love bands like Keep of Kelsian, but you also want hints of bands like Old Man's Child, Emperor, and Dissection, this band is something you need in your life immediately. Next up, we have Frost Moon Eclipse with As Time Retreats. It's been a long time since I've heard Frost Moon Eclipse, and I've completely bypassed this album when it came out a few months ago. Thankfully, I have now remedied that situation, and I am loving the 8th album from this long-running Italian black metal band. While they have potentially had this sound for a while, hearing the post-black and black gaze elements in the defined black metal sound that they've established a long time ago is a welcome thing to hear, and it adds so much more emotion to the music, and it makes me want to listen to it all over again. The production is raw, but that's what makes the music effective, and the songwriting, while dark, evil, and haunting, is oddly soothing, and it lures you in before it goes in for the kill. If you enjoy the likes of Nagelfar, but you want it mixed in with Alcest, you need the latest album from Frost Moon Eclipse. It couldn't feel more appropriate right now, and it'll only get better as time rolls on. Here we have Ghost Cries with an album title I am going to butcher, Vrykolikas. I really hope I got that right. The fourth album in 10 years from this Japanese band is so catchy, and it shows so much promise in a genre that desperately needs some refreshing in 2025. Being able to focus primarily on symphonic metal, Ghost Cries knows when to push things a bit more extreme and get into the black metal and death metal aspects to push the delivery and sound even further. It makes everything so much more exciting that way. The production is something I wish sounded better, as it's almost there, but the mix doesn't feel very stable throughout, but I still really enjoy the music, and I think that makes up for any shortcomings in the production style. This is for anyone who wants to hear that J-metal version of Flesh God Apocalypse, Epica, and Cradle of Filth. Ghost Cries will do exactly what you need. Here we have Jord with another album title I'm gonna butcher, Emellan Trodden. The fourth album from the Swedish band is the perfect album for fall 2025. This album is filled with dread, wonder, and an atmosphere that is unrivaled in its style. The production is top-notch and couldn't feel more appropriate and clear. The songwriting grabs you and will not let go until it's over, mixing this doom and black metal side into perfect disharmony that feels so rewarding every time you listen to it, but will leave you in a state of despair. At 9 songs and just a little over 50 minutes, this is the kind of album that gives you just enough to satisfy the need for the sound, but still will leave you wanting to hear what comes next. This is for anyone who enjoys the likes of Fires in the Distance, Krigsgrav, Atrust, and Tarfod. Seriously, if you love doom and black metal mixed together, you need Jord. Next up, we have the Judas Kiss with The Mere Cracked. What an intriguing band. The debut album from this British band feels like the perfect blend of goth rock from yesteryear and today. There's so many moments that will remind you of bands like the Sisters of Mercy, Bauhaus, a 2000s mix of bands like Within Temptation, and a more updated sound of bands like Ghost, all done in a way that feels authentic and shows the diversity that goth rock has had for over 40 years now, and the grand impact that it still has today. The production is fantastic and allows you to hear every single layer with ease. All these songs are endlessly catchy and done in a way that feels like a different yet relatable approach to what Oceans of Slumber has been doing for the last few albums. If this sounds like something that you would dig, trust me, you will. Give the Judas Kiss a proper shot. Now we have Rage with A New World Rising. First, let's just rip the bandage off right now. I also hate seeing AI in album artwork, but I will say at least Rage tries to use it for the purpose of the album's themes, of manipulation, and the use of AI to take over the world. In every other aspect, this is one of the best Rage albums to date. The band feels so refreshed and inspired in a way I didn't think would be possible after 28 studio albums. All 11 songs on here are so full of life and ridiculously catchy, but it also includes an additional intro track and a re-recording of Straight to Hell to close out the album, so leaving it at 13 tracks. It also feels very tight at 47.5 minutes, and despite the dystopian feel of the entire album, it will still put a smile on your face, and it feels so good when you listen to it as a Rage fan, new or old. If you're not turned off by the AI cover art, you really should give this one a proper listen. It's one of the most catchy and thought-provoking power metal and heavy metal albums of 2025. Here we have Sundrowned, with another album title that I think I'm gonna butcher, Higambana. The sophomore album from this Norwegian band hits hard and leaves a lasting impact. Combining the post-metal and sludge metal aspects of their sound with just the right amount of post-black feels like a balancing act, but they nailed it in every conceivable way. Feeling like a mix of Cult of Luna meets Alcest is not an easy thing to achieve, but every time I spin this album, it becomes more and more rewarding as I listen to it. The production is pristine for the style, and the songwriting couldn't work better in context. Everything feels like the perfect balance, and if you love this kind of genre bending, Sundrowned has you covered. If you were even the faintest bit interested in post-metal and post-black, give this band your proper attention. Now we have Surrender the Crown with Travails. 5 albums into this German band, and it's my first foray into them, and they have given me such a gut punch that I never would have expected. Hitting that perfect balance of hard rock, heavy metal, and alternative to create a sound that is universal appeal, with all killer and no filler. Sometimes you just need a good, solid, hard rock album to take you on a whirlwind of emotion, and that's what happens here. And I am, of course, specifically talking about the song, We Need You Here. That's what sealed the deal for me, and if you know anything about my life, you know how much I need a song like that right now. The fact that this band isn't playing on your local FM hard rock station here in the States is a pure travesty. If you need a band that channels Alter Bridge, Wearing Scars, and just the faintest pinch of In Flames, check out Surrender the Crown. Next up, we have The Switch with No Way Out. The debut album from this international band featuring members from Canada, Sweden, and the UK is the perfect love letter to the mid to late 80s sound. The whole album feels like a soundtrack to an 80s movie you haven't seen, but now you really want to. That 80s flair, the songwriting, the atmosphere, the right kind of electronics, and the impeccable musicianship win me over time and time again as I put this one on. The production is pure 1986 in all the right ways. At 10 songs and almost 47.5 minutes, I can't really sell it better than that. If you love 80s AOR, melodic rock, you will love The Switch. Go check them out immediately. Now we have Thor Mises with Nevertheless. The 8th album from this long-running German band is my first foray into the band, and wow, do I wish that I've heard them sooner. This is such an emotional wreck of an album that I can't get enough of. It hits in ways that I simply wasn't expecting, and will leave me wanting more. So much of this album focuses on somber melodies and harmonies that will occasionally hit into more extreme territories, which opens the door of what the band is capable of. Honestly, this is one of the most accessible albums of this style of black metal that I've ever heard. At 8 songs and almost 40 minutes, this feels like the perfect starter album for anyone who's looking to discover this kind of black metal and the true power that it holds. If you're looking for something in the vein of Amiensis, Finterforst, and Der Weg in der Freiheit, Thor Mises is something you need to check out right now. And finally today we have Wintersorg, with one more album title that I'm just not going to get right. Vattenkraft Ernas Spell. Oh, how I wish I would have gotten this promo ahead of time, but it just wasn't in the cards. The 11th album and the first since 2017 for one of the most legendary names in black metal has returned and put out easily one of their best albums under the black metal moniker in 2025. It's everything you've ever loved about Wintersorg, from the gorgeous melodies and harmonies to the insane songwriting and craftsmanship, to the overall atmosphere that no one else can match. There is such an essence to what he does, and it makes your jaw drop in befuddlement every time you listen. The production, as always, is pristine and makes every song shine. If you somehow have never heard Wintersorg, but you enjoy the likes of Borknagar, Nagelfar, Enslaved, and Moonsorrow, you need Wintersorg in your life. You do not want to miss out on this one. It's one of the best albums of the year, bar none. And there you go, folks, another 20 albums down for Out Today and What I Missed for 2025. 860 albums I've covered so far this year, and yeah, I am approaching burnout. But thank you so much for sticking around, and make sure to tune back next week when we have another 20 albums for you for Out Today and What I Missed for October 10th, 2025. And if you liked what you heard here, please let me know down below any albums that you're going to check out, anything I might have missed, anything you're going to stay away from. If you like my opinions or not, please just let me know down below. And of course, like, comment, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff. And until next week, for the Heavy Debriefings YouTube channel, this is Josh Runco saying, embrace the Skullet.